Hey everybody, it's Harry from Slapyodaddybbq, the YouTube channel that teaches you how to master barbecue so you can spread barbecue love. You guys know that one of my favorite foods is Mexican food, and today I'm going to show you my version of a Pitmaster smoked menudo with a few special extra ingredients. There are innumerable ways to make menudo. Every family and every cook has his or her own special recipe for this hangover special or morning after special. I'm going to show you my little Pitmaster twist where I smoke the meats first, and I have a couple of other surprises I want to share with you in my little Pitmaster smoked menudo episode. Menudo is a very classic night after the town dish to kind of wake you up in the morning, and it's spicy and gamey and unctuous and beefy. Menudo is usually made up of regular tripe, honeycomb tripe, together with beef shank or beef feet. I have the three main ingredients here, but in my version of my special menudo, I have a couple of extra ingredients. I love Vietnamese style pho noodle soup with the beef tendon in it, so I like to have beef tendon in my menudo. I also like a little bit more meat and gaminess in my menudo, hence I have some beef cheeks here. If you have never had beef cheeks, if you cook them properly, they're actually they're very delicious. They have a little bit of like an irony flavor, a little bit of gaminess, and I think that goes well with the unique version of the Harry's smoked menudo soup that we're going to be making today. Go ahead and put it in the smoker. We'll get it in about maybe 225. Get it about an hour smoke on it before we start cooking it in the next phase. It's been about an hour and we have some nice smoke on our tripe. So we're ready to move to the next phase, and we want to tenderize using the Instant Pot. So about an hour at about 300 degrees is enough smoke to get some color and some flavor into your menudo meats. After a little bit of smoke, about an hour at around 300 degrees, we're ready to put in an Instant Pot. We're going to be putting the beef cheeks in, a little bit of the tendon, nicely smoked. I like to run the Instant Pot about 30 to 40 minutes to get it to be nice and tender. And some people add onion and garlic, but I just want to keep it simple. I just cook it with the flavor of the meat. Add water just to cover. We'll add 1 packet of the Sazon Goya, and we add about 1.5 teaspoons of some tomato, nor bouillon. And for beef flavor, I'm gonna jam it up a little bit with some au jus beef prep from Miners. Put the lid on. Make sure that the valve is turned this way. Make sure that the plunger is in. Set it on manual. 30 minutes. It's ready to go. Let it run and check for tenderness. Once your menudo meat is done, you want to put it in the refrigerator. Let the kind of fat collect on top, and then you scrape it off like what I've done here. And we're going to warm it up to continue the next phase of the process. We bring it up to the simmer and we remove the meat so that it doesn't overcook, including the beef tendon. And at this point in time, I'm going to add a little bit of homemade beef broth. I have a lot of beef broth in the house from cooking all the briskets. I'm going to add about maybe 4 cups of beef broth to create a nice stock. And we're going to show you guys the next step, which is to make a tadka. A tadka is a technique of cooking that the folks in India have pioneered. It's about a couple thousand years old, and it's basically to temper spices so that we can season the menudo so that it has a nice flavor. I'm going to show you guys the spices I use to do a tadka, which is a tempering of the spices to create amazing flavors. This is the technique I also use when I cook chili contest. So I'll show you guys some advanced techniques. Well, actually it's not advanced, it's 2,000 years old. So I'm just borrowing an Indian technique to create amazing flavors using tempered spices in hot oil. Let's prepare our seasoning spice mix. I have heated up some oil here, about maybe 1/4 cup. And I'm going to be seasoning my menudo with some of my favorite spices. I have onion powder, granulated garlic, just a little bit of oregano, and I have a black pepper. I'm using 3 kinds of chili. I'm using paprika, guajillo, and a New Mexican style chili that I really like the flavor. You can kind of go crazy here with as many types of chili as you like, but I think these 3 that I'm using work really well. We warm the oil up, and then we want to make sure the oil doesn't burn. We toss our spices in gently, and we're going to stir it and prevent it from burning. And we took it off the fire so we can temper the spices. We want to cook the spices to remove the rawness and the grittiness, and we're going to use this to put it into our menudo to season it and get the right flavor profiles. At this point in time, you can decide if you want to make it spicy, less spicy. You can put in cayenne pepper, chipotle pepper, habanero, jalapeno powder. And what I do is I tune this tadka spice, 10% spice, and I use that actually when I make chili. So this is kind of my secret trick. And I create different versions of my tadka, which is a Indian word, which I borrowed from their cuisine, and I use it to make different dishes. So I created different kinds of spice mix that based on the flavor profile, the kind of chili I use, and also the different kinds of heat levels. And the nice thing about this is you can make this ahead of time, refrigerate it, and you can use it for multiple dishes across multiple different cuisines, from Japanese cooking to African cooking, Caribbean cooking, and this is kind of like my shortcut method. I also use this for competitions. The key is to cook off the rawness of the chili. Chili that's kind of raw has a kind of a acrid, bitter taste, and this kind of mellows up the chili and allows you to tune the flavor exactly the way you want it before you add it to your stock. We have the broth up to a simmer now. I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning. We're going to use a Saxon Goya, and this is the Choete seasoning, and we're going to taste it for perfect amount of seasoning. Depends on kind of how you like your menudo. Some people like the menudo really well seasoned. Some people like it light because it's a hangover. They're going to put their lime with the cilantro and the white onion. So you just adjust accordingly. Soup is nicely seasoned to my liking. I'm going to add my tadka, which is the spice mix. Tempered it already, so it's got we cook the rawness out of the spices and the chili. Add a little bit here and then taste it. Let's go ahead and add the meat in and serve it up. Our broth has been simmering nicely. Now we're going to add the tripe in, and I'm going to do final cooking on the tripe because I'm very picky about my tripe. I want it to have the perfect texture. I don't like my tripe too kind of mushy. So we're going to cook the tripe to perfection and then take it out and then serve it. Really great flavor. The beef tendon has absorbed the smoke and the flavors of the menudo broth. It's a little bit of taste of kind of like beef heaven. I like my menudo this way, and I know your mileage will vary. A lot of folks just cook the menudo with just the tripe and the beef feet, but mine is supercharged with 5 different ingredients. We added a little bit of a Indian style cooking technique at the end where I tempered the spices using a tadka technique, and we use 3 kinds of chilies with granulated garlic, a little bit of onion, a little bit of oregano, a little bit of black pepper. The secret to getting it done is the flavor of the broth. You really have to take the time to render the collagen into the broth so that you get a gelatinous, silky, unctuous texture that is the hallmark of some amazing menudo. Here's Mr. Bean's sample plate, a little bit of cheek, a little bit of tendon, a little bit of marrow, tripe, and honeycomb tripe here. I'll give it a shot here. Okay, he went for the cheek first, skipping over now to the tendon, chewing it down, and moving on now to the next piece. He's checking out the bone marrow, followed by the tripe, followed by the honeycomb. So it's all good. Thanks for stopping by, checking out my episode. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments below. I know every family makes menudo differently, and so yours will be different than mine. I believe it's all good so long as you're having fun and you have joy in your cooking. Thanks to my Patreons for helping support my channel, and until the next video, we will see ya. Say bye, Beans. Say bye.